Hello viewers from wherever you are watching around the world. Welcome to Manly 16-foot Skiff Club Championship Heat 1 and 2. Had a bit of a cold front, or a bit of a change come through late last night, and we've had upwards of 30 knots blowing here on Sydney Harbour. It's just down sort of 20s, mid-20s at the moment, which is going to provide plenty of entertainment, as you can see there on screen. We're on windward leeward courses today, two short courses, which is great. And I'm Jimmy Bury, obviously, and joining me in commentary today we have Paul McKenzie and President of the club, Rolf Cohen. Welcome, guys.
Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy, good to be back on the harbour.
Good to have you back out, Paulie. You thought I seen brilliance and go back sailing, and we've figured out that you can't, so you're back here. Good stuff.
I figured out I'm a better commentator than sailor last year, I think. Yeah. Well, I hope so. But no, it's a great day to be back out here. Good day for the action. I think there's going to be some interesting manoeuvres today where we might see some centreboards.
Well, I was quite surprised to actually get both of you guys, considering the weight of breeze that we've got. Us three being sheet hands, where our phones normally run hot off the dial on day when we have forecasts like this. Rolfie, you've been out of it for a while, obviously with your health conditions and so forth.
But normally this is the day us 70-kilo guys will get the call and they get us out there to balance out the heavy guys like Craig Nichols. But it's normally the days that are fun.
I'll have to teach Cooper how to change the batteries in your scales, mate.
The lie detector?
Yeah. So there we have the modern concepts on screen with, I think, Daryl Millam steering today.
Yeah, nice solid person to have at the back.
Very solid. Well,
is it? I don't think it is, actually, Jimmy.
No, it's not. Okay, we're being stooged again.
I think Daryl might actually on the contemporary pools today. I heard that on the deck.
You did go and have a little bit of a run around?
I had a quick run around down on the beach. I sort of was going through the deck.
You went through the deck?
Yeah, well, no.
We had that fixed, roll.
I think there's a bit of trepidation out there. It's our first big breeze for the year. We've had a couple of light ones, so I think today should be interesting. Blow out a bit of rust, even though they've sailed about 4 weeks. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't had a lot of breeze to start the season. The other week when we were down at St George, we sort of had a half decent breeze to start with, and the breeze started swinging and then shut down. So I think covered the world's slowest 16-foot skiff race a couple of weeks ago. But for the viewers at home, don't forget that we will be also live streaming the St George Club Championships this year. So stay tuned. I think our next one for St George is on the 2nd of November. So put that in your diary. And then we have Imey right there on screen with my old forward hand, Rob Napper, with Trent Barnabas and Joel Beechel on the helm. It's the first time. Rob was saying yesterday that they've been out in breeze with Joel, but I think that from what we've seen pre-start, Rolfie, they've been all right.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident with the three last names in that boat. They should adapt reasonably well. While we're talking about that, maybe a shout out to Trent's father. Old Trevor went through a little bit of a health scare last week or the week before, and he's recovering, I believe, well. So he was rebuilding the Imey only about 3 weeks before they opened him up and fixed him up. So best wishes to you, Trev, if you're out there listening. Hope you're getting well. But yeah, I do think the Imey will have no problems with the wind.
And there's the Sutek. Now, whether that is the crew that is on board, or are they at Mount Panorama?
I'm pretty confident it'll only be James there.
Right.
Josh and Mikey like to make the trip up and hang out up the mountain and do what they do up there. I'm not quite sure.
That's a Holmes on the back corner, I think. No? No.
And is that big Will Dargaville in the middle and James up the front?
That is Dargies in the middle.
This is a very, very good man to sub in on a day like this. They will be super quick. The bloke's a machine.
I think it's pretty good. We've got the wind coming in. We've got state titles not too far away. We really need a shakedown for the fleet.
The second heat of the States is at Manly, isn't it, Rolf?
I believe
third and fourth.
Yeah, second weekend.
Yeah, second weekend.
Second weekend.
So there's 4 heats still. Is there still 4 heats?
Yeah, still
So
4.
we've got a weekend.
Or 4 days sailing. I don't know what the format is. I'm long out of reading sailing instructions and notices of races.
26 races, something like that, in 4 days.
Yeah.
It'd be lovely to get some weather like this for those states. The Belmont guys really enjoy these kind of conditions.
Hi to everyone in Belmont.
Botany scaffold with whether George is steering or Jared's steering.
Oh, I promised Justin a shout out to the botany people. Georgia is who's crewing with Georgia this year? Because Alana's jumped off.
It's James Doyle and Kobe Napper.
Okay.
So there's some big boys at the front of that
Good to
boat.
see
So
more.
they should have be pretty quick off his start line.
Tall Kobe Napper as well, gets the weight right out.
Yeah, it'd be hard to sheet behind. You wouldn't see too much.
Be nice, though. At least
Windshield.
come in with our bloodshot eyes from the day of copping waves in the eyes.
And then on screen here, we got the Davis Marine boys. They're new to the fleet this year. They've been pushing everybody very hard in the races so far. I sailed the first couple of races this year, and they are lightning quick, especially in that lighter stuff. But we'll see how we go today. This might be a new challenge for them in race conditions.
Nathan's got some skiff background
Okay.
from the 18s.
Yep.
He's on board Smeg, so it's good to see him jump in
The
and grab one of these.
16 is so much finer than the 18 though. In this
A
sort
lot
of
less forgiving.
yeah, and in this short, sharp chop, things can go pretty quick. And we've got one of our 13s on screen now, the Harkin, with Heidi and Orlando. It's a change of skipper for this year, isn't it?
No, same.
Yeah. Well, they
Heidi was on there last year.
okay. They were super quick last year, and they've been doing very, very well so far. They could well be the boat to beat today.
Still amazing to see the numbers that are out there in the 13s.
Oh, just walking down today, the amount of them there were barely fit them all in at the club.
Good problem to
Amazing.
have. Good problem to
Yeah,
have.
exactly. More.
It gets us long on our way to our big, hairy, audacious goal, Rolfie, at the club.
Yes, that's true. We've set some pretty audacious goals. But moving along quite well.
Just gone into sequence here, 5 minutes to the start. On another note, we've got a life member on the boat today. Two. But we've got a new one. Jimmy got announced as a life member down at the club this year. I think very well deserved for all your service you put into the club over the past, 20, 25 years, Jimmy. Congratulations.
Thanks, Paulie.
Definitely. Unfortunately, I was unwell for the AGM and couldn't speak, but I was really hoping to hand you your badge, but still an amazing honour. And obviously having been involved with you for a long time in all the roles from race secretary through to now, well deserved is the right words.
Thank you, Rolfie. Yeah, no, it was, I was a bit like you. I didn't have a lot to say on the day. I was more in shock than anything. So, but definitely in there with some very well-deserved people that I still hold very high in my stead of how I think of people. But I don't think I'm worthy enough. But obviously, you guys thought I was. So.
Definitely. I think it's one of the fun parts now, Jimmy, is you'd attest to. Now we've got the 2 venues. We've given out some live memberships to some great people at St George. Now we've managed to do you here in Manly. Some of the fun stuff that we were hoping we'd do, and we amalgamated and had some scale.
Yeah, it's good. It's all going well. The club is going well.
So we're inside 4 minutes here. Do we want to have a quick prediction, Jimmy? What do you think's going to happen? Who's the boat to watch?
Well,
Any wild cards?
Typhoon.
Typhoon will be
Second
wild
race, they might get
back at Table of Knowledge. Wild cards. Let's have a think.
Anthony King, shebang.
And King definitely, I think, with Big Steve-O up the bow.
Very solid bowman.
Whether,
actually-
they've currently got the 16s on a L3, which is 3 times up to the top, finish to the third time down. So whether Steve-O's got the stamina to get through 6.
We probably need to know, Sausage, what did Steve answer that question? Like, when Ant asked him for the percentages, is he doing 100% race 1, or is he spreading out over 2 races? Because that's going to probably
I think
help with my opinion on whether they're going to go all right.
I think we'd back him in for the first race. That's my idea.
Okay.
Mooning on screen, we got some Matty Stenner still overseas, so they've got a pretty good fill-in. You know, he's just back from the Olympics. Sean Connor, they'll be tough. Two big boys up the front. And before we had the Imagine on with Simon Hoffman from the Moonin last year with Ricky Bridge in the bow. Another two big boys who know how to sail these things fast with another Olympian on the back. So that should be a good battle between those two.
Just the names you guys are reading out that are sailing skiffs. I mean, it's such a strong class at the moment. And you look at the boats. Every single boat looks in top condition. None of those boats from the old days, Jimmy's, that had the bowsprits flying up at the first mark and gaffer taping sails back together as we went. These things are
Can I
all...
borrow a jib?
Yeah, or a hull or a centreboard.
But
they all look so good.
And the future looks bright, Rolfie. That, you know, that, as you guys touched on before, the amount of 13-foot skiffs there that we have in the fleet is unbelievable. So, you know, and you know, that's the pathway that Manly has chosen for our kids to come through and get into 16s. And if you're sitting there going, I would like to get into 16s or 13s, if you're a younger one watching, just email Graham at stgeorgesailingclub.com.au and Graham will take care of everything for you. So it's you know, it's great to see the future's bright, you know, and that was one of my big things when I retired from sailing, was I wanted to make sure that the fleet was in a good stead to retire, and I was lucky enough to retire on a high.
There's still one of your famous boats out here too, Jimmy. The
There it
fire
is.
stopping on screen.
There she is.
Alex Hart, Lockie and Lindsay.
Still looking classy.
Yeah, very good boat. So
So to all the viewers, we've got a big wide open harbour. It's cleared itself nicely for the start of the skiffs. Only 2 yachts left. It's very white though up there. A lot of wind.
Bit of sun coming out, which is always nice, but definitely choppy conditions, so bear with us at home if we seem to get away from things a bit. We've got down in what is called North Harbour, but very tight constraints with obviously boundaries of Reef Beach and Smedley's Point there that we've got to get through.
It's an interesting start though, Jimmy. There's not much runway off to the left, so if you get boxed in that corner, there's not much breeze over there. Sometimes it can get a bit funky, or the bailout option is to go over to Reef Beach, but looks flatter on the left, a bit more bumpy on the right. I'd be trying to get over that left-hand shore pretty quick.
Yeah, well, the course they've got them on is 175.
We've just started now.
Red pumps looked a bit... Yeah, but there you go. Red pumps, I'd say, would be the boat.
Red pumps, red and fire stopping. I'd have questions about. Just having the Bella group. So off the start boat here, we've got, actually we're looking down the pin, the Imagine signage looks like it won the pin with the IME just above it in the MCC. We'll see the big squeeze start coming in from the Imagine soon to try and make those guys bail out.
Moonin went back, and
One of the red pumps has gone back too.
the Red Pumps Red has gone back, and Davis Marina has gone back. The individual is still up.
So unfortunately, I'd be worried about the fire stopping, Jimmy. They look very close at this boat end. I think it's just come down with red pumps going back around.
So all clear,
All clear,
we believe.
we believe. We'll get confirmation from the start boat shortly. So the MCC was the first one to bail out of that right-hand corner.
And right on cue, you have the Queenscliff Ferry leaving Manly Wharf.
This is where it gets tough. Do you try and stay to the left of it, or do you cross it twice? These are the decisions on the harbour. The Imagine here must have had a little bit of an issue. They just seem to have dropped back a little bit.
Access has probably got the lead at the moment. Maybe Shebang.
Yeah, the boats that started off the boat are looking a lot better, aren't they? A little bit more runway. And as we see on screen, Imagine choosing to stay to the left of the ferry up here.
I'm just trying to pick a way through here and figure out which side of the ferry I want to be on.
Got a lovely shot for any of the youngsters from other clubs out there watching the setup on the Imagine there. Nice and flat through the foot, bit of twist up high. So Sutek and red pumps.
Yeah, the Shebang's a little low under them, so getting a bit of dirty air, but yeah, you'd have to say that's a red pumps lead, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Big Dargy be working hard there to try and hold his lane. Unfortunately, he's got the botany below him, so he doesn't have much runway to jump away. But I think they're all just sort of, as we see there, the shebang will just be trying to hold on so they can get a bit more runway back into the left. We'll see a couple of them start taking a dig back. And here's Imagine, one of the boats, as we said, heading back to this left-hand side. A lot flatter over here, isn't it, Rolf? Bit easier to sail a skiff over here.
This is the place to be, but as you said before, Paulie, it's another metre or two. You go too far, and all of a sudden you're crouching while the guy 2 metres below disappears into the distance. But it looks like these guys have got plenty.
Yeah, I think it's just really about trying to keep some clear air on this side and not getting ping-ponged around by other balls. It's so easy with a tight start like this to try and just to get bounced around the course, as we've just seen with like almost the fire stopping just had that. So just try and keep your nose clean. It's going to be the big one.
So Ruffy would probably be a little disappointed with how he's come out of the blocks. I don't know if they had some trouble.
They didn't start well.
He went back to the start.
Okay, yep,
so I think he's actually doing extremely well after
based on that, yes, you make a good point.
So there's the battle for first in front of you at the moment. The Sutek taking a nice high lane in there. And we've got a cross coming up between Red Pumps and MCC.
I reckon Sutek's got some good height now too. Anyway, it'll be snakes and ladders up and down this course all day. So
yeah, I think the big change will be when we get out into this bit bumpier stuff. See how you change gears. See if you can keep that. You're just going to have to change your mode a bit from a bit of a high fast groove to soften everything up to punch through that chop. And whoever does that the best, I think, will get round this top mark first.
So that's Red Pump's thrown under port, and it's going to be tight with Sutek. But this will be your 1 and 2 boats.
Yeah.
Whoever got it, they're thrown underneath the bow.
Sutek, be good. I'm just trying to figure out who's steering the Sutek. I feel bad. They're doing a really good job.
Oh, Botany Axis coming in as well. Here we go.
So we've got.
I think the Queen's Cliff Manly Ferry has done a nice thing for everybody and taken the right side of the fleet.
Taking the Western Channel.
And so has the Manly Fast Ferry done the same as well, Rob. So it's good seamanship from those captains.
So my prediction of the left-hand side paying was wrong, as always.
That's why we're shoot-ins, mate.
Botany coming in from the right, taking the lead, and it got a nice little bit of a lane coming back over here into the flat water whilst everyone else is pushing out to the right.
Here comes Botany doing attack on your screen now. Nicely done, I think. Yep, straight out and away they go. These boys are looking quick.
So they've got Mike Childs on this year. He sailed with me, the poor bloke, last year.
Taught him everything you know, didn't you, Paulie? That's why he's going so good.
I think they just might have broken some of the bad habits I gave him, and now they're going quick again. But Mike, we started getting our groove together last year, and he popped his shoulder out, which wasn't too much fun. It's very good forward hand. He's very solid in this kind of stuff. Safe hand up the front.
Jim Colley is steering. Thanks, Josh Bonton. I'm glad you took time away to.
There goes the young Joel Beechel, first time over 10 knots. Does all right.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? I don't think it's his first time over 10 knots, just maybe on that boat.
If we just have a look at their setup there, they've got a lot of twists there. I think they'll be wanting to have a look at that, get a bit more gears on.
And then they've got the two crew, probably arguably two of the best.
Definitely two of the best. Few national champs between those boys.
Well done, Jimmy. Some good steering there, mate. You got your hands full today up this first work.
So the front of the fleet's really compressed up a little bit here, though. We've got a few of the boats that went back at the start, pushing back up.
So that's Jared steering what appears to be the fluid there.
It is. It is.
These Red Pumps just making a statement out there, aren't they?
Yeah, they're looking flat and fast. They've sort of managed this course well, saying left of centre in the flat water. I think we'll see that they've made a good gain on the Botany here when they come back together.
So I've just found our top mark, the big red mark. We've apparently got some new marks.
Would you reckon the Red Pumps is pretty close to lay out there?
I reckon they're lay, yep.
Could be a tricky manoeuvre if they're on lay, attack bear away, down speed.
That's what we love to see.
Well, they got Jay Harris up in the bow, the man who can save anything. with those huge
I just
63
heard-
kilos ringing wet.
I think I just heard Craig cough back at the club.
Jay's a bit like you, isn't he, Rob? He's scarred for life.
There's
So,
limits in Xavier.
There's no secret Jay and I carried Craig around those days, but you got to do what you can for the older people.
Very nice.
They've got a very good lead out there, don't they?
Yeah, this top left corner paid off. So bottom right paid into top left. So we'll see if people recreate that up the next one. And, here comes we're probably, about a minute sailing off the top mark for the leader. Very top mark, centre of the harbour, max bump. This should be
short, sharp and sweet, Paulie.
Yeah, they're not big rollers out here if you can't see it on screen. Very, very short, sharp chop.
But they do have plenty of room between the mark and Flagstaff. In the old days when we used to sail the set course, you used to come around the top mark and you'd be staring straight at a big rock wall and it was rocks or swim sometimes.
Yeah, so get some speed up to get that jibe in.
They've got a lot of runway to play with, so...
But with 3 sheet hands on the boat, you know, it's all about confidence going into the top marks in this. You've got to try and keep your speed up, pick your wave, drop that boat into windward and let it do its thing. So we'll see who's got it. If you sort of tentatively do it, feather yourself up, you're going to struggle.
So with the 13s following, there'll be 35 odd boats coming around, I reckon. It's usually a safe bet to suggest we'll have between 5 and 10 of them take a little cooling swim in the next 5 minutes.
Just what you want on a day like today, Rolfie. Water temperatures are balmy 18.95 degrees.
You'd like to think by the time they get to the top mark, they're all hot and bothered and would like a swim. Maybe not the skippers.
Hey, they don't get wet, they jump straight on the board. So red pump's coming up, final approach.
It's got to be a 20, 30 second lead.
Yeah, they've done well. They gave themselves a bit of room to get them set up.
All preparing for the turn.
It'll just be
safety first.
Tyler up the back will be getting all the bang off and stuff.
There goes the bang, right on cue, Paulie.
Yeah.
Find a flat spot. There ain't one.
Trying to time it with the waves. That's the hard part. Very nice and smooth for the boys. There. Nice and safe. Now you see they've got the chute, the added advantage. You can keep the sheet hand out on the wire. Or if you're a lazy sheet hand like me, make the forward hand pull the tack line out for you.
I used to have it come to the end of my main sheet, so I just flick it over Joe's shoulder and go, it's all yours.
Well, botany's looking dicey. No, they saved it. Have they saved it? They've had to abort and come back head to wind.
So nice solid bear away from the Imey behind. They got around a bit quicker, got a bit deeper. They'll be getting pretty close here.
As expected, Joel Beechel can sail in 25 knots quite well. Quite well.
I don't think we're that surprised.
No.
And then next round the mark off screen, the Moon and big gains back through the fleet.
Considering they had to go back, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So they'll be pretty happy with that. The one boat that seems to have dropped back a little bit was the Sutek. They were up the front. I'm not sure what happened there. But based on that, I'd say they might have had a bad tack or a quick little swim.
Not on screen. Botany access is in all sorts.
Oh.
Moonin almost went in. They had a big prawn, but they got it out. So lucky for the boys.
Yeah, on screen now, there's the Botany, our first capsize of the day.
Oh, fluid's over at the
There
top,
we go.
mate.
So that's not a bad attrition rate. Only one so far. I did expect more.
And the big surprise here is the Imagine coming around now.
Yeah, it's
It doesn't look like the normal sheet hand on that boat. It almost looks like a Barnabas.
All right, well, we're going to turn and burn once the contemporary pools gets away here, and
You can just see on screen here the guys a bit further back having to dodge the people who've already gotten wet. Could always be a bit interesting. So we're coming down with the Imagine here.
yeah. I wonder if anything's gone wrong with the boat. It's I guess it's a compliment in one way to say that Nathan's not normally at this end of the fleet, but if anybody can come back through it.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to set himself a challenge. It was too easy for him last year in the
Do
clubbing.
you think maybe this is one of those elite person's training things for his crew?
Yeah.
We'll slow it up, and I want you to
Yeah.
come back from dead last. And
they've got a bit on here with this shot, haven't they?
Yeah.
Windward boat must keep clear.
yeah, they're going to square up on the. I think it's the suit
Suits
squaring up.
there, just dropping down.
The outback might be on a little bit of a. They should get over its nose.
Yeah. But there's not many boats out on the harbour today. Generally in the southerlies on a Saturday, you get a whole heap of boats in this sort of little Manly area, but there's not too many around, which is good for everybody.
I don't know if it was intentional, but I'm not going to say it was. But you got to give your credit to the starting crew for timing that pretty well, I reckon. Getting the boats off in between the ferries and all the yachts. They did a pretty good job. Well done, start boat.
So back on screen here, we're with the MCC. We're just watching the Fireballs. The boys going down before. They're looking very good. Second year in the Skiffs.
Right now, George is going, do I really have to jibe?
On screen, MCC with the IME and the leader out the front. Still the red pumps, in the Battle of the Dransfields. Advantage, younger brother. They've just put in a jibe. They could be getting pretty close to lay there. It does look to have softened a bit down the bottom though, doesn't it, Jimmy?
It always looks softer when it's flat. You know that, Paulie? Like
I know, but just in general across the course, it's not pumping as hard in as it was about 5 minutes before the start. The Falco. And now we're on Imagine, who are working their way back through this fleet. They've actually got another yacht you're going to see pop up on screen.
This should be interesting.
Yeah.
I think they'll squeeze in and go below, won't they?
Yeah, you can see there the boys on wire are just having a little bend. They'll see it pop out and start stretching again shortly.
Not their first rodeo.
Yeah. So here we've got the drop on the Red Pumps Red, taking a left turn at the bottom and heading back over towards that North Harbour side of the course.
They look very safe. I think they've done very well.
Whereas the two people right behind, the MCC, having a good crack.
They got the inside running? I think they did, don't they?
I don't think they had it at 3 boat lengths. I wouldn't be letting them in there. I think there'll be some very harsh words from young Beechel on them about this.
Well, you know, size of the crew comes down to how that gets played out, doesn't it?
Have you met Trent?
I have indeed.
I think I know.
That's why they're leading out the mark, isn't it?
I think the MCC is taking us. Yeah, see, here we go. Doing some turns. Good boys, very well done. I think they were just pushing it a bit late there and couldn't slow down. So they've.
They did that pretty well, except for that forward headers in the water.
That's Jackson. That's very uncharacteristic for Jackson. He's one of the best forward headers in the fleet.
Very, very well, though.
Yeah, very well.
Here comes the fleet, and I tell you, they're still mostly out of the water. There's only 2 or 3 at play at in Addison Road that went for a swim at the...
So the big movers down there, Rolf, I think was the Moonin pushing back through the fleet, and the Imagine's tucked right back into this almost second group.
And the Fireball just in the top of screen there, just having a cool off.
They were looking quite nice up the top there. It's a little bit surprising. So you can see here with a few more boats coming in, the leaders make it look easy, but once you've got a few more around you, it could get a little bit more difficult. Steve Bowen trying to get the Spinnaker in just behind these guys. A few too many ramens over in Japan, I think. Got back in Thursday night, straight onto the boat.
I'd like to retract my statement that I think Ant will be the wild card here today.
You can see there, Ant jumping on chute, giving that trapeze harness its one workout for the year. And then the Outback. Oh, Botany scaffolding. Apologies. They've got to get some sign work done up there. Justin?
Hello to Justin. I saw him this morning out with his lovely wife doing the lap of Manly, heading to the club, and I promised I'd say hello. So,
and here's the Davis Marine getting their first taste of a southerly at Manly. Yeah, and just noticing that it's a little bit different to a nice nor'easter.
Well, they're one of a few boats that have actually been coming down and training during the week, Paulie. So
yeah, I've seen a bit of it. It's always different though, Jimmy, isn't it? Training versus race. Just a few other boats around you. Things happen a little bit quicker.
And we haven't had this breeze either.
We haven't had it for a long time, to tell you the truth. So there we have the Sutek, big doggy. Big boy, works hard. That thing will be dead flat all the way up here. And a good speed test for them against the Imagine here. They're the top boats.
I don't know where you guys will sit on which Manly ferry is the better one and whether you have emotions with certain types of boats, but I have to say these new catamarans are a lot more friendly to our 16 and 13 foot skiff fleets, and I guess the juniors on Sunday as well.
I think it takes a bit of the skill out of having to deal with the ferries around the course. It's something that you used to be able to figure out nicely yourself and get an advantage if you can figure it out.
It is quite nice just going down to the wharf and just there's always a ferry there within 10 minutes, so I don't care what shape they are.
So the Altus here.
Just had a bit on him there, Jai.
Yeah, we just missed it. They've just settling down here, getting ready to probably their final approach to the bottom mark.
And just for the viewers at home, the first 13 foot skiff is around, which looks like the Harkin from here. So
yeah, they look like
a very comfortable lead.
Very comfortable.
We'll pick them up on the way through. We're just dodging traffic and trying to get out of this tight little nook between Smedley's and...
Well, the Harkin were very close to winning the Nationals last year, weren't they, Jimmy?
Yeah, it was...
And then
well, Ebix, Harkin and Cybertech. But,
yeah, Cybertech got it with big Kobe Napa graduating to the 16th. So the Harkin's probably the form boat from last year still in the fleet.
We've got a 13 coming into the yacht there nicely. This is the
I think that's Botany.
no, that's one right. Skiff going home. Yeah, Harkin up there as well.
There's the Harkin on screen. It's smoking downhill.
Good looking boats. So now I'm not sure if my father's managed to work YouTube yet, but he's up in Manly Waters Hospital, and I briefed him yesterday on where the course would be and what he could watch. So, Dad, if you managed to get on top of technology and you're watching, I hope you're feeling good. We'll see you in a couple of hours.
The Harkin here has built a very nice lead on the remainder of the fleet. And then
there they go, nice and flat.
The Botany boys have got themselves up from their swim. That was a long swim for them.
Seen brilliance and run away from it.
Just trying to figure out.
Yellow and orange. Yeah.
Botany Scaffold will be second and third with Imey, the 13 foot skiff. So
Tight battle between those two.
Now, I assume they do, what, one less lap than the 16s?
yeah, they do a two-lapper.
Yep, okay.
So it's just for the 13s down here. This is really top end for them. Only carrying one rig, and with this little bit of chop, it's how hard do you push it? You'll see.
Just press the send button, don't you, Paul?
Yeah, but that send button often sends you around the front. So would you?
They're jumpy little boats, those 13s. I've only ever sailed one once, and I reckon it was harder than the 16 quite considerably.
I got ruled out. I was too heavy to sail them, so that was it.
Oh, maybe I should have checked with someone.
On screen here, we've got the Imey, Charlie and Oliver. Looking good down here.
Oh, someone's got a swim.
One of them went down. Ooh, no signs of that one, but there's Ebix, and you can see how much they got to flag that sheet just to get around this chop. It's not an easy day for them.
It's just this swell for the 13s too. They sail a slightly hotter angle than the 16s, and it's just that it makes their angle between the swell and the wind is making it a little bit more difficult, I think. They're all doing very well. So on screen here, we've got the red pump, fire stopping. But just to take us back to the 16s quickly here up the front, we've had a few big movers. It looks like still the red pumps is managing to be in the lead, but the Imey's hot on their tail, but the Moonin is chomping into them at a rate of knots at the moment for all the Moonin fans out there. They've taken the high left lane above these two, and it should be pretty tight at the top, with the MCC still definitely in this race as well.
And there's a Moonin just to the left of screen. Paulie.
I think they're going to go very, very close to getting around this mark. Right behind the other guys. And we saw their speed downwind last time, so they're just looking nice and solid there, all three of these boats. They're just just look like they're gaining a little bit in a bit higher lane there, the Moonin. There we go. They're just getting our top 3 boats. Top 2 on screen. Yeah. Just hearing from chits behind us. Red Pump still in front. The Imey and Moonin, I believe, should be pretty tight with each other. Coming round now.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Nice and safe.
It was very safe, that one. Very smooth too. Imey around as well. Bit of a drag there. I think they're sort of going into a bit of a safety mode, a few of these guys around these marks too. I think first race of a clubby, you know, if you can keep your marks pointing upwards, I think you're going to be looking for a top 3.
Down right on cue.
Into Winwood, spun around.
As I said, keep it upright. A nice top 3.
So the boys on Red Pumps probably just raised their wires another inch and crouched and relaxed.
See, I'm a bit the opposite, Rolf. I reckon drop yourself down and go harder and you get more of that weight down the back corner.
I used to find, it depends if I'm steering or sheeting. So you're right, if I was sheeting, it's steering. It was 110 kilos on the back. I don't think I've ever noticed one of these.
Does look like there has been a bit of a pulse through on this top mark though, just as all these boats came round.
Definitely looks 23 to 5 knots.
Jimmy will tell us what it is.
You got the wind on that, Jimmy, to tell us?
We don't have the wind on this. We had to get rid of it because of contractual reasons with the 18s. So
that's okay. So here
we used to have a salmon on board, but we don't anymore.
MCC here, looking nice and solid. With the 360 at the bottom, they've done well to hang on to this front edge. And as we've just seen, it's sort of turning into a bit of a boat handling race now. It's about keeping that mast in the air as you start to get a little bit more tight.
A little bit of a tangled spinnaker on the Sutek. They've got a bit of work to do to get that out. Oh,
looks like it's just popped out now.
So Imey's about to try the urgent spin around and get back on course. That can sometimes undo you a second time if you get too panicky.
Then we've got these boats coming in on the port lay. Fire stopping done well just to squeeze the Imagine out and make them follow them into this top mark. Tough manoeuvre here though. If we could stay on the fire stopping for a minute, a quick tap, get set up and bear away. Not the easy. Oh, that wasn't Imagine. Apologies.
Hasn't Imagine come through after we were only saying?
Yeah, well, I thought
last
that was
time
them just then. I was wrong. It was a 13. Apologies.
And the fire stopping doing the right thing there by just taking their time, settle, get everything set, and then find the moment.
Yeah, they've timed that perfectly on the top of a wave there. And you can see just that safe aspect. You don't actually lose that much compared to having a swim and trying to rush it. You can see here they're being a bit tentative. The longer you're going down here without the chute up, the harder it gets for you. So it's almost harder to sail these things downwind without a spinnaker. Once you get that speed up, you get the stability back. So now we're following down with the Imey on board.
Imagine had a little moment there, but they kept it upright and away they go, I think.
Imey having a Manly fast ferry just go over the top of them. This could get a bit funky for them with a double wave.
Yeah, they might have a few cross waves to deal with, and a drop off the other side, and then a jibe in the hole.
Yeah.
A la washing machine.
Here we go. Running down the other side's always the hard part.
Oh, nicely done. That bloke in the front looks like he's done it before.
Yeah.
Saved me many a times.
I think he's seen almost every single situation on a skiff 10 times over.
Those boys will learn their beers today.
Yeah, with a swim in, having a swim really sucks the juice out of you, doesn't it, Roll? Trying to get yourself back here. Skipper's almost pulling the main on too quickly when they're in the boat, dragging you behind. It's tons of fun.
Really? We used to have to pick our skipper up and drag him in. I don't know.
Ruppy used to roll it over and get me in like a beach whale.
The real talented ones just never fell out. They were still in the same spot.
So here on screen now, we got the shebang with the fire stopping ripping downhill. Steve Bowen in the front of the shebang. As we said, he's got the world's biggest guide sheets on that boat today. At least 10 millimetres thick after winching after his first sail that his little hands hurt. I don't know how they go through the blocks. They are that enormous, but they seem to be working today, which is good. There we go. Let's see this giant from Steve-O.
He's still running about 80 or 90% effort there, I reckon.
One of the safest foreign hands in the fleet, and for me personally, there'd be no one else I'd want in front of a boat on a day like today. And good execution of the giant from fire stopping there too. So we're just following the Imey down here. However, there is a bit of action happening up the front of this fleet, coming up the last work.
Travelling quite nicely there, the Imey.
Yeah. I think we'll go back to you can sail this 6 in 20 knots, Rob.
Yep. we're going to stop questioning that. Not that we were.
On the right of screen here, we have got a battle royale going on here between the Moon and Red Pumps. But it looks like just in the back of that shot before, we've seen Botany Access heading on home. So hopefully there's only a minor damage that they can fix and get back out here.
I think the other thing that we've missed here, Jimmy, they might pop on screen in a minute too, is the MCCs come right back into this as well. There you go, popping in on the left. So we've probably got about 10 boat lengths separating the top 3 boats at the moment. With, you know, it'll be interesting to see if the MCC tries to get a bit of separation on the others.
G'day to Mano up there on the top floor of that sandy coloured building.
Yeah, there he is, standing on the deck. Lovely tuck there on the MCC. Get out there, Chris. Get that thing moving again.
So even though there's only a short amount of racing left to go on distance, there's still so much room for this to all change. But well, I'd be a betting man and say that Ruffy's maybe going to come through and get this. That's my
look. From what
I've happened a few times.
From what I've seen so far, it looks like the Red Pumps and the MCC might have a slight speed advantage upwind, but the Moonin turns the corner at the top and they just take off. So with a downwind finish, I think your bet's looking pretty good, Rob.
Yeah, I reckon Ruffy will, once he gets around the top mark, he'll probably throw a bit of heat at him and see if he can suck him into doing a few turns they don't need to do and come unstuck.
I think the more interesting one here is the Red Pump seems to have eyes for the Moonin. I think the MCC could split it off here,
sneak through,
see if they can get a bit of separation, get a bit of gauge on them, and because I mean
they're hooking higher there, aren't they?
Yeah, their speed looks good, but I don't think you're going to pass them following them here.
The other thing to take into consideration here, guys, is the fitness of the engine room, mainly the sheet hand here.
Yeah.
Who's been to the gym? Who's not been to the gym?
Well, Gus is back sailing this year on the Moonin after a year off. He drove around Australia with his partner. I believe he proposed whilst he was doing it. If he hasn't,
Paulie, well done.
He should. She's lovely. They've got a bloke in the bow of that Moonin for this last run down who I think is supremely fit. Just finished up an Olympic campaign.
Whatever you do, don't say it's a boy.
We can see here the real tight racing here.
Botany Scaffold, 13 on the screen there.
About to, this could actually help the Red Pumps if they can get over the top of them. The Moonin's having to pull away behind them. Big good boys. Hopefully, they're just the one thing here is the MCC. I'd really like to see them throw something at these guys in front and make the Red Pumps have to think a little bit. At the moment, they're just managing to cover them both quite easily.
Is that so you don't get the phone call from Brookvale on Monday morning at 6:30?
Well, and in terms of fitness, you'd have to go with the Moonin in a short race like this, wouldn't you, versus the other two on the sheet hand factors?
Well, this time of the race, you've got to look at how flat the boat is, and the guys who are fitter are still dead flat. Well, the less fit guys are getting a bit of elevation on that.
He's 15 years younger than the other two sheet handers he's against,
so he's wiser, smarter.
Jack and Junior just went past on a yacht. They're sailing on a yacht called My Way.
St George's that way, boys.
So they're well out of their depth.
Well, we can see here. Oh, the red pump seems to be taking a bit of a high groove, whereas the MCC's real low as usual. Chris Sydney's 11.6 knots, and the Moonin just sort of stuck in between. But I mean, for the red pumps here, I think it's their dream. They're going to be able to sail them out to almost to this port ley line and make them follow them in. It's sort of playing into their hands at the moment.
And it's not like it's survival conditions, Polly, that you need to do that.
Especially down the bottom of this course. I would have loved to see, even now, the MCC have a crack, not sail out to ley line here.
But you could find that MCC are, 2 races today. Bank a third is the worst if they just follow. But maybe we'll get a Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton interaction from the other two, and we'll see MCC come on through and bag it. But third is still a good result.
13 just out of the right of screen having a swim.
Well, they've got an anchor on the sail, so they're putting it in the water.
But it's, as you can see here, the red pumps just puts them in a hard lock each time. The 2 other boats have to bear away to clear their air, and they're just getting further and further in front. So
remember, this is Heat 1 of Club Championship?
Yeah.
Heat 1. So, and Moonin had an absolute shocker last year.
They had 2 DNFs to start off, didn't they?
Yeah, so, the big thing here is, from Ruffy's point of view, he needs to stop.
Third's a keeper in this fleet as well.
So the last thing you've got to do is throw 100 tacks at them and roll yourself in.
Well, I think it was more so the MCC is the one that I wanted to see have a crack. The Moonins got locked in with them. The MCC could have...
They could have thrown a bit at them.
They could have asked some questions.
Paul, you remember, I come from a background of we go on 1 tack up every work. That's about it.
Right, head.
Fish and chips at Watson's Bay are sensational. So yeah, he's gone again. The red pump's got the jump a bit again, hasn't he?
Well, I think it's playing into their hands. Tight cover. They go into a bit of a squeeze mode and make the other blokes sit in their dirty air, so they just keep on gaining. A lot of it's going to come down to this set, and if Ruffy on the Moonin can stay close enough, you just sort of sit there just below and do a simo jive for the pass.
The other thing too to take note of here, guys, is red pumps and MCC both have spinnaker chutes, and the Moonin is the old conventional manual set.
They've got an Olympian in the bow. I think that thing will go up pretty quick. And as we were discussing before off air, Jimmy, I know they've got the system where Ruffy can pull it out to the sheet hand on the wire.
Will someone do an early jive over, go the real left field? Because 4th place is too far behind to be a worry if they don't swim. Would you go real wild card?
I think the Moon. Well, I think I'd follow downwind and hope that the Moonin can do a simo jive, and then the red pumps, and then you'll drive, and whilst they're down speed, you can roll over the top. That's probably their best chance for a second at the moment. I think they'll struggle to get through both of them. I know exactly what Ruffy's going to do here. I've done it with him myself a number of times. He will be hot on his heels and jive first, or if they look to jive with him, and back their boat handling to do a better job.
So Jay's shaking right now, thinking about that?
Jay's always shaking in these conditions, isn't he? There's not much of him.
A couple of years back, obviously, he got taken off with hypothermia.
Well, yeah.
Off the typhoon.
I would love to have a microphone on his boat today, though. He'd be giving it to Greg up this work. So, yeah, as we can see, the Moonin just being a little bit conservative with everything they're doing. And then there's less than a boat length in this when we come round.
Well, they've still got to turn away, so the boat length part could dissolve instantly if one of them doesn't get it right. We saw Amy go for a swim last time, so it can happen to the best of them.
Well, we can just see that these two have extended away from the MCC a little bit up there. The following didn't quite pay off, sitting in the dirty air the whole time.
Oh, they look pretty safe.
They sort of held them up a little bit there and made Ruffy hold out and gained a couple of extra boat lengths. That could be the difference on this jibe.
Ruffy's done a better set.
He's done a better one. Absolutely.
Well, the problem here is now...
Can't get over the top of him, can he?
No, he's just going to sit there just below him. This could be an early jibe out.
He's still not set on the red pumps. He's going to get through underneath him there, and he's going to do it.
Oh, it's a tough one. I don't think he's going to make it under there.
Is he going to give him a tap and say, do your turns?
Yeah.
That was close. That was
very close. I think there'll be some words coming out of Gus's mouth at the moment.
Now he's trying to go. I thought he was going to go up with the luff, but now he's right on him. Like you say, He'll just do the inside turn, won't he?
The play from the red pumps here is to try and soak and just get a little bit gauge to leeward so that when they jive, he can breathe.
You're automatically going to take their win and away you go. Game, set, match.
Yeah, whereas Ruffy will be trying to not let that happen because really the red pumps would love for Ruffy to get push up high and they just follow him back on the next shot.
Yeah.
You can see they're not tailing their max modes here, which could bring the MCC back into this. They're sort of trying to be a little bit tricky with each other to set up for the next manoeuvre.
Red pumps are squaring away on that one.
Yeah, that's what we thought. You'll see big Greg at the back there, just having a little bend every so often just to get that squeeze.
They've done well, the red pumps, to block out there, and if they get it right, they can still.
I think Ruffy will be looking over his shoulder with Gus, and
here he goes. They're going on the moon and now,
and leading back.
Red pumps are going to sail on.
Yeah,
I suppose they would have gone straight into the hole, and so
yeah,
they're coming out of pressure too. Mind you, it's the old.
And the MCC,
they're a bit more powered up, aren't they?
Yeah, they haven't been sitting there trying to manoeuvre each other against another boat. They've just been going max send down here. They've made some good games.
Real soft, haven't they?
Yeah.
Red pumps into very low pressure, and they're in fourth place. Is it
Imagine? Is it?
Miami coming back?
No, Imagine. Sorry, almost got the 13-foot.
Oh, yeah, big stuff. That is. Me too.
Just here, the MCC's done this well. They've jumped right on the front edge of a big gust.
Red pumps have just. It's really dealt a lovely angle card. They may still, because of this angle, they may still get it, I reckon.
Well, yeah.
That's what happens at the moment.
We're looking through the moon and there on screen at the moment with the red pumps in the background going past Kilburn Towers.
And in the background there, that white spinnaker, that's Harkin just to the right of the screen on the main camera, which is going in for the win.
They've got
the 13s.
Quite a convincing lead, don't they, Jimmy? The Imey sort of
just put the kiss of death on them. They've just capsized.
So it's going to be tight between all three of these. It's compressed up quite a lot. The moon on the left-hand side of the screen there, they are in almost the gust of the day, having a flog to get over waves here. Once again, Dylan got us almost in the boat, which is perfect. It's going to come down to this jibe, I think. They're going to have starboard rights on their way back. And if they can, put some real pressure on the red pumps. Does just seem to bend a little bit left down here, though, which is advantage red pumps. I've got the advantage.
It's just going to go anyway, can't it?
looking back up through this, I think the Moonen's going to have the better pressure all the way to the finish.
But look where the pin is.
The red pumps is almost on lay for the boat.
They're not going to have to jibe again, so...
If they don't have to jibe, I think they're going to win.
I think they're going to look at that. They're going to another... Yeah, I think they've got it because they got that right hander. They got lucky there. Well, not lucky. They sailed to get there, but...
I think they sailed their own race very well down there.
They held their composure when Ruffy went early, and...
yeah.
Nicely done, boys, on the red pumps. Unless they capsize, they're there. I just thought I'd see if that works. You did it on the last boat. I'll see if I can do it. No, there they are. First place, the red pumps. Over they go.
Red pumps, very well done. Start to finish almost, wasn't it?
Just about, yeah.
I think so.
Almost led at every mark. Very impressive from the red pumps.
Towers, they were in front. Ruffy's limping across the line.
Yeah.
Ruffy will be happy with that. As I said last season, he started the club championships in a place he definitely...
And they went back at the start. They rounded. They were sort of 10th round the first. And they just ground their way back through. Very impressive from those guys.
And another boat that'll be happy to be the MCC, surely, with a 3 on the scorecard at race 1, surely.
Absolutely.
New combination on the boat too with the skipper in these kind of conditions. A third you're very happy with. Imagine signage coming back down. They've done well. They were deep around that first mark, second or third last. So they'll be happy with the 4th. We're just trying to get on screen here the Harkin, which we believe has got to get a better way to get through to the finish.
Here they come. Here we go. There they are, with the screen down, crossing the line.
They would have been a little bit scared there at the end, having to swim about 20 metres from the finish.
There's a wave from the crew. And Nathan's pulled back into a 4th place nicely from a very solid 15th to 20th around the first mark.
Yeah. I think the Imagine crossing now. The next boat that's going to be coming down the course is second in the 13s, I believe. The Imey. Just executing their jibe on the face of a really good puff there.
We've got a long gap to the next 16 too, don't we?
Yeah, there's that front four really gapped out. Just got a little update from the Sutek boys from the mountain. Looks like they're having some fun up there.
Have they dug up their case of cans?
I think probably 2 or 3, knowing those two. So we're just coming around here on the Imey, looking nice.
You've got to love a car race that has a quota. You can't come in with more than 1 case per day per person.
Is it the same rule at the Formula One, Rolfie? I know you're a huge fan of Formula One.
No, I only drink water when I go to the Formula One.
We can see Charlie and Oliver here trying to get it into the finish. They're just trying to soak down to that mark in front of them. Looks like they're probably going to have to throw another jibe in, I'd say. It's the blue boy in the background. It's the finish line. But they've got a good lead on third. They'll just take it nice and easy here and get through.
You make a good point though, Jimmy, don't you? The 13s, well, it's amazing that there's so many 13s that look just like the 16s, which is really fantastic getting that support. So many times they all look the same from 50 feet away. They're incredibly fast, both of them.
Yeah, it's really good to see, and I know those boys there, particularly on the Imey. They went chasing hard this year for a sponsor, and Imey came on board, which was great to see.
Well, I mean, we had some of these young 13 guys actually approach the Sutek as well. Reached out to Steve Bowen, the principal of Sutek, and these guys put forward really good packages. I mean, Steve went to go speak to them, and they said they'd already got one. He wasn't surprised by how well they put it all together.
So really, when Steve went back to them, they'd already got another sponsor.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
But I mean, I think it's a great thing, the community that the club's building, where we're seeing some of these sponsors of the 16s jumping on and having a little twin running around with them.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, there's the little red pumps there on screen as we speak.
One of the 15 red pumps out on the Manly Racecourse each week. Davis Marine, big gains to come back into fifth. Massive gain. So they were further back than full back. And as we said, keep your mast upright in these conditions and you're going to end up with a good result. We're probably seeing, well, I mean, I haven't seen, has the Imey come through? Big Imey?
Yeah. Oh, no.
No. So we're sort of seeing these boats coming through now are the first of the swimmers, which is almost like the second race. A nice little battle here between the Sutek and the red pumps. Red.
And fire stopping, mate. Look at that one.
Yeah, one of the best looking boats in the fleet. We say it every time. Not the best looking jibe from Alex there, though. Just sort of hesitated a little bit coming into that jibe. Didn't get the corner down and resulted in the wine glass.
Good reefing of the sail to deep power.
Well, could just need a new chute, that one. Maybe you should have a chat to the sponsor.
Call sponsor.
And Sutek getting in ahead of the red pumps red in a tight finish, with the fire stopping coming in next.
Yeah, we've got a jibe at that boat back to get that wine glass out. It's the only way to get that one out.
We've done that nicely.
Coming in hot on the boat.
Is that Altus?
That is the shebang.
Shebang with old Big Rope Steve.
Oh.
Which he shall be known for tonight. Big Ropes Steve.
He's
Did he put a winch on it? That's what I want to know.
He's been hitting it hard in the gym. I know that much. Him and Ant have had a bit of a competition going, and I know that there's big stakes on the line. And it's
What are they curling like 5 kilos each or something?
No, it's a weight loss program. Surprisingly,
they're not lifting. When you said they're competing at the gym, I'm thinking no, weight loss. Okay.
I think Steve-O's got a good strategy to win though. He doesn't want me to let Ant know.
Yeah, but just Steve, Ant's at every beach and gym at 4 a.m. every morning. He eats birdseed.
No, he eats ramen.
Ramen? I don't even know what that is. Apologies to anyone that takes offence to that.
It's a Japanese soup.
What kind of meat is that?
It's a Japanese soup.
Is that
pork broth things.
Okay.
It's you catch him in one in Neutral Bay quite often during the week.
Okay, because you know when you get unwell and you're in hospital, they give you a liquid diet and it's really bad. So who would choose to do that?
Here we got the Army coming down to the finish with
So they've obviously broken something to do with the chute. I wonder if they're going to be impacted for race 2.
We'll just see what
Pole's still there, but it's tipping the water.
Just go on tight on that. Smile.
He's sailing. He doesn't smile. I'll never, but I think the pole's there, the wires are there.
Do they have
Maybe,
crew there?
Maybe they just got it out of the drink and they just said, let's just,
Well,
no one's around them, maybe?
There's another boat coming in hot behind you.
They wouldn't do that.
There's something terminal for the Spinnaker not to be up with Rob Napper on board, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Could be the old tack line Disapiro or the Halyard Disapiro.
If Rob could, we'd sail upwind with Spinnakers.
You can. They're really nursing it though. You can see coming into that jibe. It's just.
And there's the Bartley, Dan Bromlow.
It's a new combination there. I believe they've got Andrew Isles back in the class this year, jumping on the sheet. He's finally gotten away from his sister, get to sail with some of the guys. But I got to sail with him a couple of times last year. Very, very good, very, very fit. So they'll be expecting a better result in the second one for sure.
It was the same as last year, Paulie. They start exceptionally well. They just slowly, like, Dan's just got to work on his confidence there and just realise when he's mixing it with the big boys.
Well, I think it's
rub shoulders.
I think we were sort of talking about it up that first work. When you do get to that front, you can get bounced around by people so easily and not get a clear lane. And when you do 5 more tacks over 200 metres, you go backwards real quick, and then the same can happen downwind. So it's about having that confidence to go, yes, I am going the right way. Yeah, I might have to take a bit of punishment and to clear my air, but not get dictated by other boats, especially off the start line. So there goes the Bartley through. We can sort of see Rob on the Army. It's off screen, but he seems to be trying to play with something down in the bottom of the boat.
Oh, he'll be making whatever he has to do to get back out there, won't he? He doesn't go in, does he?
Well, the only thing is if they've ripped a Spinnaker and he's untying that one, getting ready to throw a new one on.
We famously threw Spinnaker sheets over the side at Winner Manly, whatever year that was, that we won up there when we were right up at that sand spit. And he goes, I'm just going to... I'll throw it out the back to, whatever. The breeze dropped out and we ended up almost paddling home. So
the fireball coming in here, looking very nice.
This is these guys'
second or third season?
Third season, I think it is.
I think it is. I believe they won the point score last year.
Right.
Which was very impressive. Came down to the line with another boat. I think it might have been the Sutek right at the end of the year. When I was saying, it's been the lighter airs, they're super quick. And just once you get up to this, it's all your processes and making sure you know what you're doing. And when something goes wrong, what to do, that really keeps you at the front. And that's something that takes a fair few years to learn. So they'll be getting better and better.
Comes Phil Cook and the Altus Consulting. Or are they Altus Consulting these days, or just Altus?
Well, at least he's got some artwork on the sails finally.
Shout out to Big Gav. Altus.
Very nice coming in there.
A new logo from only recently, a couple of years, I think it is. They've changed, but still the same crew, I think. Is that still a gruder in the bow and a walk on the sheet and a...
Yep, so I think they'd single-handedly top the Masters division here.
Yep.
Well, the shebang would have to be pretty close to the Masters, wouldn't it?
Oh, Kitty walks.
I know.
He puts in Phil Cook's older than Ant and Steve.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Yep. And he's a school teacher, so he's wiser than his age, so that adds to it, I think, doesn't it? No?
Here comes the Botany Scaffold coming home. Look like they've got one more jibe here to do.
Sophie and Hugh.
So how many boats have gone in and may not come back out? I know we saw
I'm not
the Botany earlier.
Sure what's happened, but Imey is in near where the old Ocean World used to be. So not sure
they're
what
obviously
they're doing. Like it's obviously something that might be relatively easy to fix if that's where they're gone. They haven't returned to East Esplanade. They're on West Esplanade. So, you know, if you've got something that's sort of semi-terminal, you want to be as close to your trailer as possible. You don't really want to be running from West Esplanade down to East Esplanade to grab a screwdriver or something.
Well, that's good news. That means they're confident they'll get back out. So hopefully they come back. We've got, I can see the shebangs actually on the ramp back there. So
Steve only did have one race in him.
He took 100% one race option.
I think that could also be Ant generally only has a one swim policy as well.
Oh, does he?
I only swim once.
That's not like Ant. He'd normally make you stay out for like 50 swims and one of those annoying people that won't give up.
So coming downwind, we've still got a few more 13s. We've got the MCC 13 coming down with the chute still up.
Everyone's gone over into the corner there for refuge while we wait for the last few boats.
So it's probably 3 or 4 more 13s that we can sort of see up the course that we think are coming down to the finish.
Are you seeing that that's a lighter breeze now than start of race 1, would you say? I reckon it looks 3 or 4 or 5 knots lighter.
Well, it was forecast for it to slowly abate during the
Slowly fade.
the afternoon. So yeah, we're getting I think for once the
less white on the
people with the dartboards in the Bureau of Meteorology have got one right.
The weather guesses, yep.
I think that'll play into the guys who've got slightly bigger little rigs then. EMCC is one of them. We saw them making good gains down that last run. I know a lot of the new True Flow mains, especially on the second rigs, have extended out to the end of the boom. So they've just got a little bit more sail area on them.
And is that sort of, do you think, Paulie, because, you know, the upper wind limits for race committees, they call it off a bit earlier these days?
I think everybody's just got all their control systems down under things, so they can really change their gears a lot better. You see some of them going to the big cuffs down the bottom too, but that being able to flatten out the foot really nicely and just sail off the top, if you've got that little bit extra when it's super fresh, it's not the end of the world. Well, I know when I was with Ruff, I pushed for it for a little bit, didn't get it because I'm a big boy. But once you get over 25 knots, it's boat handling. That little bit of extra sail area is not going to make a difference. You keep it upright, you go into a third. So they have all started wanting to change down at that sort of 16 to 18 knots, so then they can get a bit more range out of a rig that before you only really sailed in.
I used to love trying to drag you up to 18, 19 knots, Paulie, with a big rig.
Yeah, I was generally quite happy to do it too, Jimmy.
I think we've got to give some credit to, if you go back to, I think it was about 2006, 2007, when we started putting these square top mains together, and old Craig Nichols, Fast Eddie, came out of the blocks with the first square top and the first bigger second rig on these boats.
He was also around for the square rigger days, mate.
Well, yeah.
Didn't he used to push a pole out as well?
He'd never push the pole out. He wouldn't even know where the pole lived.
We had to put the stumps on, though. I think the first boat that I sailed, admittedly, it was out of the Scout, so we were probably a decade behind where everyone was. We had a winch on board for the jib.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
a winch.
On the Tabernacle, I think it was called. Something weird like that. It's where we used to saw the gaffer tape to put it back together halfway through the race.
16 teams on screen.
And there's the lineup so far that we have for this season at Manly. So for the 16-foot skiff teams. So that's all looking very promising. There will be some changes throughout the season for different positions. And then there's our 13. So that is incredible how many 13s, Rolfie, that
I
we do
love that if you can't read the small print, you can't tell whether that's the 13 or 16 list because they're both as long as each other.
Yeah.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
It's extremely impressive what the club's doing to get out of the junior sailing and effectively into senior sailing with the 13s. But I think more so is the amount of the 13 sailors from the club we're now seeing in the 16s. We've had a few more from last year come through, and it's just really bolstering because, you know, there are quite a few old boys down here.
What are you getting at, Paulie?
Well,
Not us. We're retired.
No.
I mean, as Jimmy, as you'll know, there's I mean, there's probably about 15 to 20 different projects being worked on right now that'll continue that sort of growth. Everything from rigging space to boat sheds to building boats to financial support. Out of those 20 things, we might rattle off 4 or 5 will work, but constantly working on those things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We're determined that in another 8 years after this season, the 10-year plan, as the business people will tell you, will come good with that audacious goal, and we'll be running some significantly bigger fleets. It'll be good.
It's just where do you put them?
And it's not limited. It's not limited to the 16s and 13s. Clubs supporting the Flying 11s and the Manly Juniors as well through the same program.
I actually briefly looked at all of that the other day, and I go, my dad would have been very happy with the support given the juniors, the amount of Flying 11s I had back in the day. So it's very impressive what the Skiff Club and the board members are doing well. And I also get to have a little bit of an insight at work to see how much work you guys actually do. Wow.
Didn't you go to a good school, Paulie?
That was a long time ago, Jimmy. I've killed a lot of brain cells since then.
Attaboy.
So on screen here is, well, we're back on station for the start, so we're getting pretty close.
Won't be far off the 5-minute call here.
We're just seeing a few of the boats with their instruments coming and picking the boat and the pin so they can tell how far away they are. Zoe there will be looking to get one back over her brother in this one.
Definitely a few less boats on race 2.
Have you guys seen Amy come back here?
Not yet, no.
I haven't. I have noticed the Botany Access is back out here for race 2 though, after retiring from the first race.
In a sort of a way, Paulie, they were a bit lucky they had a bit more time on the beach.
Well, they should come out firing with this.
Justin probably waited on the ramp as they came in and said, turn around, back out you go. There we go.
5 minutes. So
The wind sampling's been complete.
So I'm just managing to look at the back of the start boat there. Same course for both boats. 3 laps for the 16s, 2 laps for the 13s.
Same bearing, Paulie, 175.
Yeah. But I do think that it has faded off a bit, Rob.
Yeah, I think we've knocked 5 knots off it.
I think we're sort of sitting at that 18 to 19 knot range now.
You'd be looking for your big rig, really, wouldn't you?
Well, if you were us, yes. But I think we'll see them all push a little bit harder in this. There'll be a little bit less safety, throw a little bit more at it if they're not too tired from that first race.
And the harbour is still empty, all but one of the smaller ferries. So they should have a pretty nice run up that first work.
Yeah. Here we go, the Moonin on screen there. They'll be looking to go one better in this race.
Just getting word through from that on the Ebix 13-foot skiff, it's young Harrison Thomas.
Oh, really?
Ah,
lovely.
Steering with, obviously, with James up the bow. So
that's Ryan's son, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's you look through the 13's list, and the amount of names, last names that I recognise from sailing against their parents back in the day. Yeah, sons and daughters is incredible, and that's sort of, as we said, the community that the club's building is really good.
well, the new junior chairperson's Tim Lees, I believe.
Yep,
so,
Tim Lees, yep.
At Manly. So, Tim's pushing very hard, and it's, you come down here on a Sunday and have a look around, and it's amazing, and how many of the old boys and girls that we used to sail against, and they're now down here on a Sunday with their kids, so it's great to see.
I'm sort of the one with the 3-year-old. We're trying to hold out. I like having my Sundays for a little bit longer. But I think you'll start seeing some Turners down here soon sailing, some Mackenzies, and Jackson's got a few young kids. There'll be the next one coming in after that.
I can also report back that if you do have no luck getting your kids to sail, as I had no luck, there's always plan B, and Cooper will be working from 6 tonight through to midnight in the bar. So there's plan B. They can always be involved in the club.
So we just go and ask to put it on Rolfie's account, do we?
You could ask, but it doesn't work. He tells me, well, I won't tell you what he tells me, but I'm pretty sure he's doing the right thing by the club.
That breeze is dropping off even further.
Yeah, it's gone soft, and the waves have come down a little bit, the swell. There goes the fresh water, so the big green boat's gone. We're down to little boats. This should be a work the boat as hard as you can up this first one.
It'll be interesting to see who can change gears well, beef up that sail a little bit. You'll see them push the board down a little bit more to get a bit more grunt. I mean, it still does look like at the top end of the course there's a lot there. It's just softened down this bottom end, I think.
And, you know, the way the southerlies go, another line will come down and we'll be going, wow, look at that. So
do we think it's going to be a bit of rinse and repeat here, Jimmy? Get into that left corner? Or,
I think.
or do you think they're searching for breeze now and they might jump out to this right and take the slot with it?
Yeah, I think you've got to go where the breeze is. Like, you know, I was always taught when I was
you can see a fairly good line coming down now, just sort of starting to get to the bomby. So they might be back under all sorts any second now.
It's a fine line though, that slot that comes with a bit more pressure versus the flat water where you can stay in that high groove in these boats. It's,
is that Zach in the middle? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
And is that Shawnee Moran up in the bow?
For those people at home that aren't aware, that bloke sailing sheet on the Imagine, not only does he win Australian Championships in boats, he wins Shoot Shield Player of the Year in the rugby in winter. So
He's
I guess if you don't know the Barnabas
he defends,
family and their sporting skills, you soon find out.
I was a little bit disappointed in leaving Manly, going out to the enemy. He's playing with his brother though up there now. It's the Barnabas is the open side and the other open side flanker for Warringah this year.
Same problem when we had what was it, George Smith and Pocock or whatever it was, or Hooper and Pocock at the same time.
Yeah,
just find a way to get them in there, don't you?
Pretty much. So we're lining up for a start here. 36 seconds to go. We are seeing a few of the more fancy boats lining up at the boat this time to give them a bit more runway. Davis Marine coming in with an interesting. They're going to have to push here pretty hard to get through this area.
Looks like we've got about 12 starters, so we're 13 with Cookie up the other end. So we're down about 4 or 5, I think. So
Cookie with the port hander. Who would have thought?
That's,
Phil Cook with
that's
a port
the
hander.
first time I've seen that.
So the Davis Marine running this line, it's quite a risky thing here. I'd say they're pretty close.
2-1 now.
Oh, Cookie's way off.
Davis Marine doing a quick little duck
He's got
back.
it though, but he missed it by a couple of bones, but he's got it. Oh, well, maybe not.
Davis Marine smartly going back. Moonen, great start off at the boat with Botany access on their hip.
No, Cookie's got it. Cookie did it out of port. Well done, Cookie.
Sort of going over that side where we think there might be a bit more pressure too.
What does he do? Does he reef beach or does he flop over on top? What do you do, Paulie?
I extend. I extend to give myself a little bit more runway. Less tax.
Did Dennis Conner do that in 83?
So coming off really well off the line is the fresh blokes on the Botany access, sailing a nice high groove here.
Well, they had a good set of heels in that first race.
They were leading halfway up the first work, weren't they?
The Army's still on the beach over there in West Esplanade, so we're not going to see them.
No. It looks like it's just starting to bend to the left as they come into this side, which is making these pinhead boats look a little bit more bow forward. Red pumps again up the front with the MCC pushing hard into the left. We'll be in this leading group, but it's just going to be how well we can tack here and if you have to take any sterns.
Fireball looked like they did one of those skipper knows he's tacking and forgot there's 2 others that need a little bit of a heads up.
A laser attack.
Yeah, actually.
The red pumps here, pushing it hard across the front of the Sutek.
And the moon. Yep, they did it.
That's confident. And with the Moonen just pushing the Sutek right in up against these boats. So red pumps leading again. Very good job from those guys. With, I would say, the red pumps red right on their tail too.
What is that fantasy thing doing? Full stern both. There we go, that was close.
So here we go, the Moonen here, just dealing with a few little waves in front of them. It's just, the red pumps just seems to have a very nice high groove whilst maintaining their speed. They're just managing to squeeze everybody out. And once you get in front, you can do that. You can just lock everyone away. Be interesting to see how these guys behind try and break it. On screen there, Sutek, Moonen, red pumps, and the Botany. These would be our 4 leaders of the race at the moment.
Again, so even, isn't it?
I actually quite like the position the Botany's in here myself. just managing to live up on the hip of these other boats.
I'd like to see the Botany just go a little bit bow down and just get a bit of speed and then start climbing back for height here.
Try and wind off the main a little bit more.
Yeah, like, you know, they just feel like he's trying to sail that high groove, and, you know, with that down pressure, I think speed's now critical, you know. You go where the breeze is, get there fast.
Yeah, because the pump's just getting away from them, aren't they?
Well,
But they are starting to do the separation and lift.
yeah.
So maybe they saw a line and no one else in there hanging into it.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a good gauge off the other boats, so, you know, don't be afraid to put the bow down. And
He's starting to turn a bit now, though.
I think that he's going for a squeeze mode with the right shift coming at him, and this could actually hurt him with the squeeze in front.
Well, Cookie going out to the right over to Reefy. He's got all but one bottle.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The boats who led
Two.
right early have made some good gains, I think, haven't they? This will be a good speed test here, the MCC versus the Moonin. The MCC known for a low fast mode. Ruffy sort of sails in that middle, can turn it on low and fast and can squeeze. See if he can hold his way out here. And also the MCC does have the biggest little rig in the fleet by a significant amount.
significant amount.
I think they've got about an extra foot on top of their mast.
Which this might be the right sort of race to here.
Exactly.
We've knocked five knots off it. This could be just their day. They showed pace before when it was windier, so...
I think the Davis Marine on screen there is going to be an interesting one in this too. We saw them rip back through, do really well last time with that slight drop in pressure. What they've learned in that first race, let's see if... We know they're lightning quick, and we know they're extremely good sailors. Let's see if they can match it with these guys in these conditions and not have any little hiccups. So they're all just extending into this left corner. We've got a nice funneling breeze coming through here in a little bit flatter water.
Again, it's how far into you go. If you can go in and get a line out, you'll win by a lot. But if you miss the line, you might as well start paddling.
Yeah, so Botany, first one to get out of here. Got the Moonin going out now with the MCC directly below. I think
Red pumps.
The red pumps has linked the dots the best here. They've got a nice...
Surely they'll flop over about now, aren't they?
Well, they've got a nice bit of pressure to extend further into the left here. And I think they might take it myself.
I think they're overstood, Paul.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you won't go too much further.
They've shortened the course up a little bit, haven't they, Jimmy?
Appears to have shortened up, but could be wrong.
It's hard to tell.
I definitely think it's short.
Yeah, I agree, Paulie, because there's a boat in the tide a long way up.
Yeah, probably from the last top mark. A lot tighter this fleet than the last time. I think this Bearaway is going to be quite interesting. The Imagine here, I don't know if they've seen the top mark. No, flicking over now. Of course, Zach Barnabas on the Imagine was the sheet hand with Nathan and Mel Page when they won the Nationals here at Manly. Seems to be able to put the Barnabases anywhere on any boat, and it seems to go quick.
Pretty much running a 0.01% body fat, aren't they, the whole family?
Yeah. So, but isn't it interesting? We've got these same three boats in the top three from the last race.
Yeah, it's like the last race just kept on going.
Yeah. But for this one, the MCC seems to be able to have broken free and using that low fast mode to push forward.
Still messy enough out here that if you don't concentrate, you can trip over. So we might still get some excitement.
It's that downspeed part that we saw people having difficulty with, where they're pulling the chute up and you don't have to wait on the rail.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much the Bearaway in the last one, was it? It was just that.
If you get the hull in the wrong spot on the wave,
Yeah.
the wave sequence
Yeah.
pushes you in, and away you go. And
Red
Catch a
Pumps
kite.
still in the lead.
but MCC done well to block into second.
Get out there, Greg. Yeah, very well.
Nice and flat. Well done, Red Pumps.
Very smooth. You'll get
Oh, bit of a lean there.
you'll get to see the advantage of the
shoot.
where the sheet hand just stays up on wire.
You up? MCC just had a nervous moment there.
It's not so much it goes up quicker out of the chute. It's just a little bit
Keep the weight-
a bit
weight
more
of the crew.
stability.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever really seen a chute come in handy was the year Greg's Ramp, Brett Davis and
Oh, yeah.
Steve Newell
The luxury.
won the luxury charters up at
Queensland,
Brisbane.
yeah.
That was, I think that was the year you picked your boat up on the way to the titles, wasn't it, Rolfie?
Yeah, Steve, if you're watching today, shout out to you, mate.
Very impressive display from the Red Pumps at the moment, though.
And Brady Davis and Tim Tam himself with the apple juice.
You're not suggesting Brett Davis is an apple juice drinker?
Let's just say that Van and Steve are having, what did you call it? What was that clean liquid you said they're on? I don't think the luxury boys had the same diet. Well, we got the Altus blown attack line.
Yeah.
Definitely less very. Oh, the IME has come on the course, coming up the work, halfway up the work. So there's that never say die attitude. Oh, Imagine's just gone swimming. Yep.
Jive to swim.
Just didn't look to get the corner down. And then the corner of the chute down. The lump's still causing a bit of problems, I think.
So I've been trapped here with Skiffs and our sailing manager right in my way. That's what he gets paid for.
We'll see if we can get this on
Let's
screen.
back out and try that again from the botany axis.
Come on, Mikey.
Discretion is the better part of valor.
Get it back up to
The
speed and
big
get
thing
it done.
is don't do it down speed. Get it
Yeah.
moving, boys.
You're going to Red Pumps on board any minute now. There they go. Zoe's done a much better job.
There's
Maybe she could have a chat to the boys on the botany when she gets back. How they did that.
Mike's just done a bit of a safety jive there, pinned that corner down, did quite well. And now we've got our leaders, Red Pumps, who look to have
Opened up a bit, haven't they?
they look to have extended quite a lot down
Oh,
here.
wow. Jay Harris, you will not stop talking tonight, I reckon.
You've experienced that before, have you, Rolf?
Oh, look, I must admit, it's a bit early to be saying that, but I know if they do get a win here in this one and head back to the bar, Jay will be a happy man.
Well,
Hypothermia or not.
see if you can give him more of the commentator's curse as much as you can.
I'm doing my best.
Oh,
And if the gold medalist can tip over back there, anyone can, so it's not over yet. He's only done 1 of 3, so...
So
He's
the-
already smiling though, isn't he?
the Moonans managed to make their way into second.
Sutek's got that same depowering system going.
The Moonan just look to be not pushing anything too hard at the moment. Just nice early drop there. Just sort of going through the motions by the looks of it. As Jimmy alluded to earlier, they just want to get a couple of keepers after how last season went. Sutek coming in now. I'd say that's a very good drop for a sheet hand in the bow of a boat.
Oh yes, if she ends up the front,
Yeah.
any drop's a good one.
And Red Pumps Red around next. So the botany after the little scare there's just dropped back a little bit.
Shaken, not stirred.
And then the Davis Marine here going for their drop on screen, followed by the Bartley.
Bartley and
Phil, is that-
Altus.
Yeah,
Altus has held on a bit longer and slotted in, I think, haven't they?
very tidy from the Davis Marine. You can see they have been out doing some work. I just noticed when they were going.
Clash of rigs there between Altus and Bartley.
Rubbings Racing.
It's not a race if Phil Cook doesn't give somebody a nudge, is it?
Phil's one of the nicer guys in the fleet for everyone to name.
He's a lovely guy. He likes to sail very close to you sometimes, though.
Yeah, I must admit, they're lovely people, the Cooks, but they have magnets in their boats. Oh, there goes the, is that the fluid going for a swim? If that's what they call fluid again?
Yep.
Yeah, they're cooling off.
We've got Imagine on screen. They've got it back up and running, but now we're back up the front of the fleet with the MCC, sitting in third. It just seems to be the same as what was happening with the last race. They just want to follow the leader around the course.
There's the Imey on the charge.
I'm going to say it's actually, whereas the last race they all closed up as the race went on, I think they're extending faster.
They look like they're gapping out, don't they, Rolf?
It's almost like they've gone, oh, we can do this, and away we go. They've got the confidence going. Jay was smiling when he came up around that mark, so...
I'd pick they're the lightest of the three crews up the front at the moment, wouldn't you, Jimmy? With any boat with Jay Harris in, it's generally one of the lighter ones.
Yeah, he's...
There was a Typhoon once upon a time that I don't think was the lightest.
But
Jay didn't see a lot of the trapeze that year.
And the thing is, Jay's not even the smallest person on the boat. Tyler's got him covered in that. Here we go, the Imey. The boys have done extremely well to get back out here. It's that Rob Napper, never say die attitude. You watch, they'll gobble up a few.
They do give out lessons in commitment, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we'll just see if we can have a quick look here and see if we can notice anything that's gone wrong.
Well, I'd say that whatever they fixed,
They fixed it.
And now they're probably using this as, you can just imagine, they'll be talking about how far we can get up the fleet.
Yeah.
They probably have their eyes set on that Olympian chap too, I'd say.
Well, he's not that far in front of them.
He's not doing a normal job, is he, old Nathan? Or he had a big night or what?
So, we're just...
You're going to have to buy a new spinnaker, I think, Mr. Firestopping.
It's just going to be interesting to see how the Mooner tries to break this cover that the red pumps have. They're not going to be able to do them on speed, I don't think, so they're just going to have to come up with a few creative ways to get past them.
You've started with Ruffy before. Does Ruffy, is he the kind of guy who would just bank a second now, or is that's too soft?
No.
Yeah, that's too soft, isn't it?
He's a little bit conservative. He'll be... He's very... Yeah. Here we go, the first 13. Once again, the Harkin coming down. A bit tighter race this one, though. We've got the Emix and the Imey right in behind them. They just look a little bit more comfortable this time in this race. Don't seem quite as on the edge. Lovely shots there of the...
Yeah, the Harkin looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a very nice looking boat.
Again, it's like everything in sport, you know, as you go through the generations, every generation does their sport so much better than the one before, and watching these guys sail.
Yeah.
30, 40 years ago, it was, you know, people that age were a disaster. These guys are Olympic class. It's top shelf, you know.
It's very good, isn't it?
I reckon
it's because the systems are easier. That's why, Rolf.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, they're obviously a bit better than the... But I think the sailors are miles ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So tight race there between the Evix and the Imey for second and third. The Imey's just doing well to get a bit of depth there. But as we've seen, that late chive and down this run seems to pay. And on the right screen, we just see there the red pumps with the Moonin. Red Pumps is just doing a great job keeping themselves between Moonin and the mark.
The other one that's going to come into this, just to the right of screen shortly, is MCC. I think they've probably closed up on Moonin.
Yeah, look, coming fast.
I think. Look, the Moonin's, I'd say, probably the slowest of these three boats upwind at the moment, which is very unusual for someone with Gus on the boat. I've sailed with Gus a few times. It's extremely good. He hasn't sailed in a very long time though, but we'll just see.
You do his media relations like when he's getting married, lots of stuff, eh?
Yeah. I know his dad will be watching. So,
Find a mark.
very tight between these two, though.
Red Pumps is probably pretty happy seeing them so close to each other. They'll maybe slow themselves down having a little battle. Let them clear out for the second half of this race, which they've just started now.
Yeah.
Somebody's heading back to into Manly, missing a few parts of their boat that normally stick up in the air.
Looks like it could be the Nozomi.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Looks like they've lost a rudder. They've got the old human rudder over the back.
Oh, I had that at the Nationals last year. It's tons of fun, isn't it, Nick Connor?
You weren't the human rudder, surely, Paulie.
Definitely not.
Good to know.
I was intelligent ballast.
Sea anchor?
Intelligent ballast. I like that one.
I'll call you Azimuth.
So the Moonin just going around now. With the gates at the bottom, you often do have to do these windward sets, whereas with the chutes, they're pretty lucky. With the windward sets on the 16s, they really have to get square and almost roll the rigging on top of them a little bit, so it just pops out. Not the easiest thing to do.
MCC, nice and safe as well. It's definitely taken 5 knots out, maybe even 8 knots now out of it.
Yeah. We can have a quick look.
And Red Pumps, every poster winner.
Let's just have a look at what this wind's at for you, Rolf.
You just go with what I said as being right and make me sound good.
Well,
How's it looking? What do we got?
it still says it's pushing up around 20. However, that's further up the harbour. I think down the bottom of this course you are, Rolf. It has dropped off a little bit.
And there is 4, 5 and 6 around. So definitely has taken a bit of a toll today on a lot of boats.
I know James in the bow of the Sutek and Mike are very, very good mates. This will be a bit of a battle between these two.
Yeah, we would say didn't go too well on the Sutek though.
No, that's not the nicest thing we've seen in a while. Just coming down with the body there, you can see what a difference a good set makes. And the Moonin just driving off the point there, followed by MCC. Bit of a safe drive there from Jackson. Held that corner down.
Sail Media stopping to lodge some reports.
Yeah, just a young crew in there this year.
Good on them, mate.
the
It's the Sicilian race too. The Treasurer can't even do that.
The red pumps are sailing into the distance here, aren't they? Oh, actually, I thought the red pumps was somebody else, but it was the fire. Sorry. I think going into this second race, we are seeing people be a little bit more tired. A lot less drives and tacks than we saw in the first race.
And especially only being 1 month into the season, 1.5 months. So
Yeah.
those that aren't at the gym with Steve-O and Ant probably feeling it right now.
Well, the two people in the gym are on the deck having schooners already.
They're working on some sheet hand muscles, forehead muscles.
So red
Red
pumps,
Pumps nicely, yeah, they're doing well, aren't they?
very conservative early drop there. We'll see, they're cruising in there.
So, so Michael Childs is in the bow on body, is he? And
Yeah.
Ryan's
And then the two brothers.
the two debaters are debating at the back which way to go, discussing family matters.
I tried sailing with my little brother once. It was very interesting. I think I told it last year, but he ended up jumping off the boat and swimming to the rescue boat. So,
I think on the Thomas boat it goes something like, so Chris, I think we might take that lift. Yes, Ryan, I think it's a jolly good show. Away they go. That's how it works, isn't it?
that's how all boats work.
That's how all boats work. Okay, we got the pumps. The pumps is still actually they're gapping again. They're pulling away.
The two red pumps on screen. We just for the.
I think we're just having a little bit of air traffic we're working with.
Yeah.
So excuse us while we sound confused.
On screen there, Davis Marine. They're looking good early. They look like they've had a swim and twisted that jib up. Almost looks like they've lost the clue with their jib there. Yeah.
You're not going to make it to the top mark with that, are you?
No, and it's also one of the hardest things in the world to tie up again, isn't it, Jimmy, if that little shackle breaks on that one? Sutek coming in hot here at the bottom. Yeah, we noticed quite a few of them doing early drops down here. I think this breeze might have just clocked around to the left a little bit. Downspeed jibe here for the red pumps right next to the Sutek.
Sutek do what anyone would do and make it hard for them.
Yeah.
Tap mass, no?
Almost.
Give it a little high, we're here. Do a turn. That sailcloth on the Sutek spinnaker is significantly wider than all the others. Is that
We won't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
It's a Steve-O special.
Oh, is it?
No, I think by the looks of it, they've gone to a North Shoot this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's still True Flow working gear, yeah?
Yeah, still True Flow working gear on it.
Shout out to Baz if you're watching.
Stay out of that one. I think...
No, I had the privilege of being shown through the IME as it got put back together by Trev a couple of weeks ago by Baz, and had a good old chat to Baz, which was the first time I've done that in a long time. Says I'm out of sailing now for 5 or 6 years. I haven't needed some sails, but we had a good old chat. Everything's good. Everything's good.
Well, I think the Sutek boys should be hitting up their sponsor for a new little mate. That one I actually sailed on that boat with about 4 or 5 years ago, so...
I can see where you pulled too hard on the clip.
And that's one of the quickest...
That's where Paulie's landed in it.
That's the trampoline effect.
That's one of the quickest sails I've ever sailed with, that one. Had a very few good days at a Nationals in Middle Harbour in that one. So we're just in this corner, it is getting really soft though for the viewers at home. You can see here the Imagine coming down, but the Sutek boys could go straight back out through their tack, similar to the red pumps.
That's the fireball with the white spinnaker, then the blue spinnaker is the Altus, and the orange spinnaker is the IME.
So you'd have to back IME to get through those two, and then maybe get to the back of Nathan, but...
Look, I think the IME getting back out here, just by eyeballing the amount of boats out here at the moment, they're going to get a 10th or an 11th or something like that, aren't they?
Oh, less than that. Less than that.
So that's what I mean. We've got to get everybody to the finish still. Looks like the Davis Marine may have managed to work out their jib clue issues. They're a lap down at the moment, so... I was them to just jump back out and start sailing against some of the guys around you that you want to be sailing with. Do a bit of a speed test and stay out of their way.
Yeah, there's just not enough wind, is there, for the order as it is now to change too much more. So it's just about getting through the race and logging a result that half the fleet probably won't get because they're back at the club.
Yeah.
Hi, Ant. Hi, Steve.
And on that front, we'll move back on up to this lead pack and see what we have installed. I think fluid there, just going past with us in the background.
I think there's actually there's a good race going on in the 13s at the moment too, which is very close to the front of the 16s. Actually, the Harkins gapped out again, but the race for second, third,
so is that Evix and IME and
but we've got, I believe we've got Botany Scaffold.
Yeah, Harkins miles up there.
A bit further up, and then Harkin.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So the Botany looks like it's made its way second. It's very well done. And then the IME and Evix battling it out for third.
And the background of that shot was the moon and taking the low road across.
Well, I guess at this stage of the race, you've got to do something different, but does he throw second away by doing it?
Wow. He's got to do something. I know on a day like today, if Rafi doesn't get at least one win, he'll be a little bit disappointed. So
It's shaping up like he's going to be a little bit disappointed.
Looks that way.
All right, Craig's back at the club. You can coach him through that.
Well, I think
The 13s, we've got Harkin just around the top mark for the last time.
So they're heading for home, yeah?
They're heading for home, and I think
Botany's running second in that race. So I think, again, Harkin's got that wrapped up, barring going for a cooling off session.
we
just had to do it.
we might even run down to the bottom with the 13s. What do you reckon, just to mix things up?
I think that'd be good.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we'll...
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he might have had a go at first and bought himself third.
I would tend to agree with you there, Rolf.
But it's still a bit to go. He's got one less tack to do and he's coming fast.
So here on screen with the Harkin. And then
Back at the top mark, there's the red pumps, 2 litres, both classes, so 13 Harkin, and the red pumps,
I believe
16.
both of them have led around every mark. It's pretty impressive from both teams.
Yes, they have.
In both races. Here we go, rounding the mark for the last time.
Not far behind the red pumps is the
Definitely
Botany.
softer.
Yeah,
Definitely softer.
13
Greg's
for
just
Skiff.
going for a quick little swim there around the top.
Not even having to think about the nose going down. It's so soft. So
You can see it's softened up enough that the sheet hand's not staying out on wire for the set. Get that wine glass out, Harris.
really clinical day from the boys on the pumps. Well done,
Yeah.
boys and girls.
Have
And the
they
other
been
pumps.
doing much training? I know they did a lot before last year.
I'm sure I saw one of the pumps, maybe both of them out only a couple of days ago.
Pumps red was out the other day.
Yeah, they were out a couple of days ago, yeah.
Because I
Just checking on the cameras, from down the club, that's all. I wouldn't know firsthand.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get down there either. But
So the Botany scaffold around in the 13s, followed by the MCC in the 16s, managed to get into second, with Moonen in third. So these 3 boats for the 16s have definitely been
consistently 1, 2, 3.
yeah, well, they're standard above everybody else pretty much today.
They're still looking. The pumps are still looking real good, and the other guys, these 3 boats have looked like they did in the first work, in the last work. The others have started to get a bit sloppier.
It's been extremely impressive from the red pumps today. Managed to hold off a fast charging Moonen in the last one and then extended away in this one. It's very impressive. So I think, Jimmy, we're just going to come down with the leaders. The Harkin off screen is over in Mill Harbour, probably looking to do their last drive into the finish.
Jimmy's throwing a cover on the Botany.
Far from it, Rolfie.
Maybe, yeah, give him a few navigational assistance points there. See big rocks turn.
As we can sort of see with the red pumps here, this breeze has gone left all day.
They got down the rocks a lot more than they,
The breeze has softened and they're not having to jibe
Oh,
off
Botany,
Gilbert
Botany, Botany, Botany. In they go. Where's the next boat? They got time to save this?
It's going to be touch and go.
The IME 13 is fast coming next.
I'm going to say IME will get them unless I don't know that they can do it quicker. Oh well.
You can see here the red pumps. They've just managed a one jibe down here, minimise manoeuvres. That's a hard thing to say.
Yeah, there's no overtaking lanes left.
No. And then the Harkin had to do an early drop, similar to last time, coming into the finish, to try and sneak back up over the start boat.
The moon, and you watch that jibe there. They're still not at Australian title standard yet, are they? In October.
Well,
It's not like the moon and kite to flutter like that in a jibe.
well, they've got Matty Senna to come back on. I mean, Sean's obviously extremely good, but the combination between Matty, Gus, and Ruffy has won a national title already. Matty's over. Happy birthday, Matty, for yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday!
He's over, about to start the middle sea race in a few days.
Nice, nice.
So Ruffy's luckily had an Olympian filling in the bow, and Matty's the kind of bloke, he knows all the systems on that boat, he'll slot straight back in. He'll probably be quietly happy that Ruffy hasn't got it cleaned up to I think Ruffy better have a look at his left line on his sheet though, it might be a little bit tight.
Is it a new one, do you know, this year?
Probably won't be
Too early to crack
a new one, yeah. I mean, I'll pull it out of one of his 10 he's got sitting in his trailer.
Well, we're going to give Raps the red pumps boys. They've banked a solid day.
Yeah.
And second and third, the podium's been the podium twice. So
Yeah, they've just switched around, haven't they, from the last race?
yeah,
And also a shout out to the Harkin at 13 for 2 from 2, which is awesome to see.
Dominate. Yep.
Very impressive.
So most certainly those 3 top boats would all be happy with that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you see the IME come out and go out anyway, so they can bank a single-digit result when you've got a 20-odd boat fleet.
They are teams that have got combinations that have been together for a while, at least 2 of them, if that makes sense. Like
yeah.
Chris and Jackson in the bow of the MCC have sailed together now for 3 years or so. Ruffy and Gus have spent a lot of time together. And then young Tyler with Greg, they've put in a lot of time in the water over 2 years. So, IME, 13, managing to sneak into second. They did get it up pretty quick on that botany scaffolding though, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they're not too far back.
They're not too far back. IME coming into the finish here. Charlie and Oliver, did they get second in the last race as well?
I seem to think they did, Paul.
Oh, I think that they did as well. They're coming into the finish here with the Botany Access. Good result for them after not finishing the first one. Coming out fresh.
So they're 4th, right?
Yep.
That's definitely a good one in a 20-plus club fleet this year.
Well, you have a look at the people behind them. You're pretty happy, aren't you? If you got the Imagine behind them.
Couple of classy boats behind there.
So here we have Botany Scaffold coming in.
Is that the IME coming at us? No, that's not IME, is it? No.
And we've got
Okay, so
Red spinning in the background.
they're out there. I was wondering if they got it Nathan, but they're just too far back unless
Yeah.
Nathan has a boo-boo.
Botany Scaffold taking the quickest route to the club, skimming the pin. The red pumps here.
Red pumps red.
Red pumps.
Young Zoe.
I think she's back full time sailing this year, isn't she? Last year she
it's
was
great to see.
she was a super sub last year. Everything she got on seemed to do extremely well, and she's been helped out by the red pumps, Greg, to put a team together.
There's Ebix.
Little wine glass to finish their day off, but they're under no pressure unless they swim.
And a fast finishing Sutek.
As we get the drone zooming up here,
Up towards the Bartley.
they've done well.
There's the IME powering down over the other side. They're just running out of course to catch Nathan, but they have come at him, haven't they?
Well, they're currently sitting in 9th, which is pretty good when you start. I suppose the only thing is if they cross the start line in time. It's generally a 5 minutes you've got to get across or something like that, isn't it?
Are you talking about after it goes, they were still on the beach? Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
I was thinking it was 10 minutes, I recall, unless that's changed.
I think it might be 10. Here we go, the Bartley on screen. You can still see that there's enough chop in this to still make it a little bit difficult.
They could still make a mistake, but you'd like to think at this stage of the day there, Nathan would be like, do not do that again. We are making this one.
And there's Imagine with IME chasing hard behind. Unfortunately, going to run out of runway on the IME.
They didn't make it look easy, did they? But they got there.
They tried. I mean, it's 3 guys that I don't think have sailed together as a team all that much. It's about getting your timing coming in and everything like that. It's quite difficult.
Looking at the one that the Army boys are on, they're probably a margin under a minute, won't they?
I think there's a bit of red mist coming out of Napa in this race. He'll be working that thing overtime.
He's calmed down in his old age. Leave him alone.
Will they head home and have a team meeting tonight? Bit of a chat and work through. Focus.
I think his big thing is that Toby doesn't beat him all year. That's the stickler.
If you want to see, that's a very nice drive from the Army there, as you'd expect with the calibre of crew on that boat. QED on screen. I believe they're coming in for a 5th in the 13s. You can just see with the 13s, they actually are a little bit harder to jibe than the 16 with one less set of hands. The person needs to get that shoot around and get out on wire, and just a little bit more difficult.
They're very slippery underfoot too.
Yeah.
I've tried it once and I was not real good at it. Those things jump around like you wouldn't believe, which is good.
I sailed one the first year that they came to the club.
Aha.
Yes.
I think I remember that.
17-year-old me.
How old are you now?
A lot older than that. I think it'd be 21 years ago, Rob.
Wow. Isn't it funny, mate? It happens to everyone.
In the first year, I think it was, a few good names sailing the boats. James Doran.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Congratulations to Doz and Amy as well. They've got a little bump
just before
coming
you say anything, do they know?
Are they
aware?
They do know.
They're aware of that.
Make sure you don't blow anything
I
else.
saw Amy yesterday, actually. They got a little bub coming in about a month's time.
Oh, very nice. So
Yeah.
have they done one of those gender reveals? Or you're not sure?
I don't know that much. I was...
Not that it matters, but just wondering. I can picture Doz, playing for the Wales, Mossman Rugby Club. There'd be a lot of blue and, fire stopping was sort of pink.
Lighting up the Merc tyres and a bit of blue smoke coming out, you reckon?
Look, he's a real estate agent in Mossman, so it's probably more when your Range Rover turns up pink or when it turns up blue. What colour did you order? Or what colour did the dealer send you?
Fireball coming in here. Another good result for them. And then the Altus on screen. Looks like we've got our last two boats.
Because you've revealed your age, and Jimmy, I know yours, you remember a day where a Phil Cook start like that would have been see you later Phil, first by 6 minutes.
Oh, well and truly. And, he did that even back in Flying 11 days when I used to race against him. He was...
He used to be able to pick everything and off he'd go. And
he was never afraid of a port hander, that's for sure.
No, and 1 out of 10 didn't work too well, but the other 9 he won the race.
Well, the best was, I can't remember which year in Hobart in the Flying 11s, and Nick Schofield's boat blew off the roof, and the only boat builder that Sandy knew was Beanhead that builds the Incats. So he had this aluminium brace put around the front of the boat. And he'd just come in on port.
Ramming speed.
And you just follow him because you knew you had a clear passage to get through.
So Flying 11 with a bull bar, basically. Yeah.
Oh, the fluid back out here. They went in, pulled out of the first race, didn't they?
I think they went in for a swim.
I think I just went swimming a fair bit.
Okay.
So, on that note, I think we might wrap things up for today here at Manly for heats 1 and 2. Good to get 2 good races in solid breeze. Thanks to Paulie and Rolf for joining us here in commentary today. It was very entertaining and
Thank you
good
for having
laugh
us.
all the way along.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Bob.
Don't forget to tune in on the 9th of November. Come and join us again for Heat 3 at Manly 16s. And if you're struggling for lack of sailing to take it all in, join us as well on the 2nd of November down for the St George live stream. So this has been a Sail Media production for the Manly 16-foot Skiff Club. Enjoy.
See you later.